Hi everyone, it's me again with this another advancement, incremental part, call it whatever you want, on the project of the Simple Bank. So where were we? We are doing. I have some to dos here. So create a remove the method and find. Actually, what I'm thinking of today is to create the unit testing for this. Use the methods we already have, which is those three here, and try to create some unit test for them because I don't want to grow this too much and then have to do the unit test after. So let's go to your test folder. Let's delete this. Let's delete this too. Let's create our dev studies similar to this that one up there. Dev.study. Let's create our first test, which will be a cool list. Let's test. Tests or tests? Let's pick test. So if I remember correctly, I to start the unit test, you just hold it. Test, and let's create a name. Probably void. Check should check for should get the list size. The list size. List size. Yeah, naming things is definitely the hard part. So let's start. So I have here a task. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some statement coverage to do this the size. I think as this is only one line, I'll probably won't need only one test, and I'm gonna use the statement, which is basically try to use the minimum amount of tests possible to go through the maximum lines in the code. Since there's only one line, I can get 100% coverage with one single line. And since there's nothing else, I don't think it's necessary to do any more testing. You could add some maybe. Let's use, I have to define a list. Cool. Actually, let's use var. Var test list equals to new colist. Oh, not colist test. Colist. And let's make it a list of whatever. Let's make string. So what I'm gonna do, actually I need a populated list. So yeah, I have an add method. Actually I can exercise this with an empty list maybe, because it will be, no, actually it's gonna be no. Let's see what it returns actually. So if I try to do this and result with the test list dot size and I run, it's gonna be no probably. It's just taking a long time. Okay. Yeah, oh, actually got 0. Yeah, the start value for int is 0, so you automatically get 0. So technically, we already have here statement coverage because we already exercised this line of code. It's working. So what I do here is I do assert. How do I make asserts here? I don't remember. It's where do I get asserts from? Assert. Yeah, I don't remember JUnit. Where did I get asserts from? False equals. Nah, I'll have to check it. Let's actually go to the JUnit documentation and see assert equals, and we have to import static assertions. Let's see if there's something assertions here. Let's see. So he created outside and he basically imports the assertions, assertion icon individually. Okay, he imports individually. can import everything. No, that's assert true, assert not null, assert timeout. If there's more. Assert true, assert equals. Assert isn't true, timeout true. Now let's go with assert equals first. Assert equals here. Let's copy this. This imports is static. This is so weird. Let's see. Assert equals, so the expected value, which is 0, and I do the task get size. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna raise this list up here. Var cannot existing classes. Okay. So public, maybe private. I don't need it outside. Private, and it cannot be a var. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Let's put this here then. Okay, so I defined the list outside. Let's format it to be a bit prettier. And let's run our test. See if it goes okay. Okay, so it worked. Let's just, to make sure it's working, let's put a -1 here. Just make sure. Okay, it's working. So I think the name here is not very good. So what would be a better name? I think it should check the default value. Default value for list size. List size. Okay, so this makes for the statement coverage here, because it's exercising every line possible. And I think this is going to be enough for now. I could actually create a test to verify if the number goes up, but I think it would do the same purpose here. Yeah, I think it would do the same purpose. Let's make it fine. No, that's okay. Let's create. Now let's start creating tests for the is empty. So here, since this is a Boolean value, the best strategy for us is to use another strategy, which is the branch coverage. Which is basically to test the values true and false for each verification for each if statement. So here, this is empty. Void should return a null for an empty list. So here I'm going to check for the false value, which is the nope. Actually is the opposite, because when it's no, it's going to be true. So he's gonna, is empty? Yes, is empty. Return no for an empty list. Test return. Test. Should return true for an empty list. Okay, so this works. I'll need to assert false. Can I import everything from this? I want all the assertions. I don't want one. Let's see. I don't see any examples here. This is Kotlin. Kotlin is kind of pretty, isn't it? It's a bit smaller. So let's see. Assert that. I don't think I can import everything. It actually has examples only with with Kotlin, which is weird. Um, so this is Java first. So yeah, he only imports statically all the assertions. I'm not sure how to do this. Let's try to make something real quick. Let's try to do this, but instead of importing static, let's import everything here, like dot this, and see what happens. I think it's gonna work, maybe. It actually worked. Assertions, assert false, no, assert true actually, assert true, true. Let's put a boolean condition here, which is the test list dot is empty. Okay, the second value. Okay, so if our list is empty, it's gonna return is empty. Let's return here, run. Okay, so it's working. To make sure it's working, I'm gonna actually do the opposite test too. So what I need to figure out a way to send a non-empty list. Oh, I don't need this here. It's picking up this guy. So how do I send an empty list? I would actually have to test the I would have to have the test for the add method to make sure. But they are isolated structures, so I shouldn't depend on the add method. But how do I do that? I don't have a constructor, so I don't have a way to create a list that's already populated. So I actually depend on the add method. For now, the only way we have to do this task is actually to add some element to the list. Yes, this is the only way. Let's change the name here. Should return true. Return false. False for a list with elements. For a list with elements. Yeah, let's make it like this. And now we need to do an add here. I'm not sure if I should actually use this value here for everyone or if I should create one locally. Let's see if they have any recommendations here. Because here they're using the same. Because it's calling individually, it's not a list. Okay, let's use the principle of isolation here, that the test has to be isolated. So I'm going to create local variables for the list. And I'm going to use the empty list up there. In general, create a var here and create a cool list with string. Create a, let's call this one empty list just to make it different. Empty list. And here I'm gonna add some elements like test list dot add. Let's send something. Let's put names in here. Anna, Hugo, Taylor. Oh, actually, I cannot send like this. It takes one by one. Do like this. And this. Okay, so we have our 3 elements in here. So the list should return empty, Also, I guess our time is over. So we continue later in the next video.